Today we're going to talk about something I like to call the data wilderness. We're absolutely surrounded by information, just tons of it. But how much of it actually means anything? We're going to explore how we, yes we, can actually architect meaning out of all that chaos.
Okay, so let's just dive right into this. It is absolutely no exaggeration to say our modern world doesn't just use data, our world completely runs on it. It really is this invisible engine humming away in the background, powering almost everything we do, whether we see it or not.
I mean, just think about your day for a second. Your bank is using data to trace every single transaction you make. Scientists, well, they're out there charting incredible new discoveries with it. And in healthcare, my gosh, entire patient histories are built on data. We're talking about literal life-saving work, all built on a foundation of data. It is constant and it is everywhere.
But here's the thing, here's the twist. For as much as we rely on data, there's this huge fundamental misunderstanding about it, a kind of great overlook in how we all think about what it actually is.
And that leads us to a really fascinating question, doesn't it? I mean, if we are swimming in data, just drowning in it, why does genuine understanding feel so rare, so hard to come by? Why isn't all of this information actually making us any wiser?
And here's the first big piece of the answer. The core idea is that just having more data, well, that's not the solution at all. A giant mountain of raw, unstructured data is essentially just that, a mountain of digital noise. It's all sound with no signal.
That's why a single number, a statistic, any data point, on its own, it's a total mystery. The number 1 million could be a disaster, or it could be a massive triumph. Without the story around it, without any context, it explains absolutely nothing.
So this is the heart of the problem, laid out right here. On the left, you've got what we're so often dealing with, raw, noisy, scattered information with zero context. But where we need to get to, that's what's on the right, structured, clear, organized data that actually has a story to tell.
So the big question is, how do we build that bridge? How do we get from the useless stuff to the useful stuff? Well, this is where the architecting part comes in. It's all about consciously, deliberately building a structure to turn all that noise into real, usable knowledge.
And listen, it's not some kind of magic trick, it's effort, plain and simple. The difference between a totally confusing spreadsheet and a crystal clear, insightful chart is just one thing. Someone, a person, invested their time and their skill to organize it, to label it, and to give it meaning. It's a very human act of creation. And the process, when you boil it down, looks something like this. You start with the chaos, right? All that scattered information. Then you start applying the architecture. You add labels, you create categories, you build some kind of organization. And the result, the end goal, is structured knowledge.
So let's take a look at what that actually means in practice. Because this is the payoff, right? This is that aha moment when all that messy, scattered information finally becomes clear, powerful, and actually usable. This right here is our key definition, structured knowledge. It isn't just data. No, it's information that has been intentionally crafted. It's been organized, it's been labeled, it's been put into context so that it can finally provide real value and actual insight. And you know what? This is exactly why platforms are so important. They give people the tools to do this transformation. And maybe even more importantly, they recognize and reward the very people who are doing that crucial human work of turning scattered info into structured knowledge.
All right, let's bring this all home. So what does this mean for you? What should you really take away from all this? Because this isn't just some abstract idea. It's a completely new lens you can use to look at the world.
So if you remember one thing, make it this. We've all heard that phrase, data is the new oil. Well, that's not quite right. Data on its own just has potential. It isn't inherently valuable at all. Structured data, now that is what holds the real power, the real value. So I'll leave you with a question. The next time you see a really powerful chart, or a shocking statistic, or some kind of insightful dashboard, just take a second. Look past the shiny final product and ask yourself, what was the human effort? What was the architecture? What was the structure that someone had to build to turn all that raw, meaningless noise into the clarity that you're seeing right now?